Today, I'll walk you through the rise of Tencent and its dominance in the video game industry. Tencent is the largest Chinese company by market cap and has often been called the Facebook of China. It has a large presence in video, music, news, online publishing, instant messaging, and video games, and is most well known for its instant messaging platform, WeChat. With over 1.3 billion users, WeChat is the #1 messaging app in China. Tencent was founded by Chinese entrepreneur Ma Huatong, nicknamed Pony Ma. Before entering the professional world, Pony Ma was trained as a software engineer. In college, he was known as a tech geek by his classmates, even building a reputation for hacking into university computers and locking the hard drives. In 1998, Ma teamed up with a friend and 3 of his former classmates to create Tencent, and a year later published their first product, OICQ. It was a free PC-based instant messaging service which later became QQ, currently Tencent's second largest messaging app. This generated 100,000 users by the end of the year and gave the founders some much-needed momentum. QQ's success allowed Tencent to expand into other areas of the tech industry. But as the years went on, the company's reputation suffered. Tencent was being labeled as the king of knockoffs, and it had just avoided bankruptcy multiple times. So in 2011, Tencent introduced WeChat. The service was developed in only 2 months to help the company avoid business failure. Ma described it as a matter of life and death. The company's survival depended on our speed. And luckily for Ma, WeChat entered the market just as smartphones became popular in China. With this came yet another break for Tencent. Back in 2005, the company launched its first online payment service, Tenpay. But the release wasn't as well timed as WeChat. It took 6 years for Tenpay to gain real popularity, but when it did, quickly became the second largest online payment platform in China. WeChat and Tenpay gave Tencent the stability needed to enter the video game industry. Today, Tencent is the largest company by gaming revenue, with a portfolio of some of the most popular video game titles. It all started in 2004 when Tencent released QQ Tong, a free, massively multiplayer online role-playing game. Tencent had already achieved great success with its QQ service, which, similar to WeChat, offered more than just instant messaging. The service had over 800 million active users at the time QQ Tong was released. The gaming industry has rapidly evolved over the last several decades. Tencent correctly forecasted its growth in China and leveraged its existing user base to grow its gaming popularity. This was quickly followed by a variety of other QQ games. All this gave Tencent a decent introduction, but they still had a long way to go in dominating the industry. In 2008, Tencent signed a Chinese distribution deal with Riot Games for League of Legends, and this was only the start of their business relationship, with Tencent becoming an investor in the studio the following year and finally taking full control of Riot Games in 2011. This move couldn't have been timed better, as League of Legends became the world's most popular PC game the following year. This gave Tencent a massive foothold in the global gaming market and paved the way for further investments. In 2012, Tencent became a 40% owner of Epic Games, developer of the Unreal and Gears of War franchises, with its $330 million investment. Tencent now had access to Epic Games' cutting-edge game development technology and provided the company with a direct connection to the Western gaming market. They now also had more influence on mobile gaming, which was growing exponentially with smartphones. This was all part of the plan to shift focus from desktop to mobile games and made Tencent a major winner from the success of games like Infinity Blade. With more money to invest, Tencent began developing more games internally, with games like QQ Speed very closely resembling Nintendo's Mario Kart. Nevertheless, they gained massive popularity in China. Tencent continued its expansion in the gaming industry by acquiring stakes in several other major developers and publishers, including Activision Blizzard, the company behind the Call of Duty and World of Warcraft franchises, and Ubisoft, the creator of Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. Although these acquisitions were both years apart, they took place for a similar reason. Both Activision Blizzard and Ubisoft were under the parent company Vivendi. For Activision, this was after merging with Vivendi Games to partner with Blizzard. For Ubisoft, this was because Vivendi had slowly been buying more and more stakes in the company, hoping to one day seize full control. Tencent helped both companies escape from under Vivendi and is a minority owner of each. Tencent continued its in-house development and released games like ArcAge, Honor of Kings, and PUBG Mobile throughout the 2010s. Tencent also continued its gaming acquisitions, with studios like Supercell and Grinding Gear Games. Tencent has investments in over 800 companies, so it's difficult to determine exactly how many of those are gaming. We know Tencent has 100% ownership of Funcom, Riot Games, Sumo, Turtle Rock, Digital Extremes, and Splash Damage, and controls between 4 to 84% of Epic Games, Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft, Supercell, Bluehole, and many more. And with Microsoft looking to take over Activision Blizzard, Tencent plans to aggressively seek more majority ownerships. Tencent's success in the gaming industry has not been without controversy. One of the main concerns surrounding Tencent is its relationship with the Chinese government. As a Chinese company, Tencent is subject to the country's strict regulations and censorship policies. This has led to concerns about the company's potential for censorship and surveillance, especially regarding WeChat. In September of 2020, WeChat was banned in the US, with the Trump administration harboring similar concerns about Tencent's data collection and surveillance practices. And while to some, Tencent's takeover of various video game studios is impressive, to many others, it looks like a potential monopoly. Another issue many people have with Tencent is its history of simply copying popular games, and Pony Ma hasn't been shy about his feelings, famously stating that to copy is not evil. Examples are QQ Speed, a clear mimic of Mario Kart, and Kings of Glory, what many are calling a complete League of Legends ripoff. Even so, Tencent is quick to pursue legal action against copies of their games. They've won multi-million-dollar lawsuits against smaller game developers on multiple occasions. But potentially the most concerning for parents is Tencent's use of microtransactions, otherwise known as in-game purchases, and alleged promotion of video game addiction. Now, microtransactions are an all-too-common occurrence in video games today. Popular examples include Roblox's Robux and Fortnite's V-Bucks, where players can purchase in-game currency for items like skins or hidden features. These are most commonly found in free-to-play games. It's a model that typically allows players to enjoy a cost-free gaming experience with the option to enhance it. According to the NPD Group's Game Market Analysis Report, downloadable content, microtransactions, and subscriptions accounted for almost 60% of non-mobile video game spending in 2021. And this number is only expected to grow. Tencent was an early pioneer of this revenue stream, with microtransactions being the primary source of revenue for QQ games. It's led to Tencent being accused of using pay-to-win models where players can gain more of an advantage the more they spend. In doing research for this video, I came across a Quora post by David Jia. In it, he recalled how Tencent had conflicts with another Chinese IT company, 360, and how Tencent ended up blocking QQ users from logging in if 360 apps were detected on their computers. David also speaks to their use of addictive games to make teenagers compulsively spend their parents' money. Is Tencent a gaming monopoly that needs to be stopped, a corporate icon just doing business, or something in between? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.